Hey everyone, we're watching the fourth round match of the 2023 French Open between Aryna Sabalenka and Sloane Stephens, and this is the first set tiebreak. We're using the AR Tennis Essentials app. On top we have the YouTube video of the match. And below is a simulated tennis courts where we're going to discuss some of the strategies the players are using. What you will see, so we have Sabalenka down here, or actually on top, and then Sloane Stephens on the bottom with the pink tennis ball. And what you will see here is that Stephens is able to counter Sabalenka with her own aggressive shots and not letting Sabalenka get a chance at driving all the rallies. If some of you are familiar with the Sabalenka tennis game, she's incredibly aggressive. So for example, you'll see Stephens driving this ball into Sabalenka's backhand cross court, and then driving the same ball down the line to get Sabalenka moving, and then really attacking back with her backhand in order to be able to open up the court and take Sabalenka and come to the net and win the rally. Sabalenka, on the other hand, uses her second serve really well to move the players around. I don't know what the percentages are in the tiebreak, but she misses quite a few of her first serves, but then she takes the second serve, and you'll see her kind of driving it around just to make her opponents question. Sometimes she drives the serve, it's a kick serve to the backhand, and then once in a while she'll have a really nice serve down the line to Sloane's forehand. And again, a lot of her kind of second serve points are meant to drive the ball. Sabalenka also uses her shots very effectively. She's incredibly aggressive. So she'll do a rally, for example, she'll take her backhand and drive it deep to Sloane's forehand, and then to Sloane Stephens' backhand, and then she uses her forehand very aggressively to kind of move Stephens back to the forehand side with an aggressive deep forehand cross court, then an inside out forehand, again driving or running Stephens around the court, and then she finishes out the point with a very, very, very aggressive forehand down the line. So again, just running her opponents around and using really aggressive shots to finish out the point. Okay, and we have a few sort of points here in the tiebreak that I kind of want to point out with some of the strategies that we just discussed. So for example, right at the beginning of the first set tiebreak here, this is the rally that I was talking about, where Sloane Stephens really uses her backhand aggressively to run Sabalenka around the court. So again, very aggressive, and then comes to the net and wins the point. So again, in this scenario, Sloane Stephens kind of uses some of Sabalenka's strategy to win this rally, which is very impressive. She has a really powerful backhand and is able to drive the ball cross court and then down the line, and then put Sabalenka on the defense. 2 minutes and 50 seconds into this video, what you will see is how Sabalenka runs around her forehand on Sloane Stephens' serve. So if you watch the simulation down here, right, Sloane Stephens really hits her serve kind of in the middle of the serve box, and Sabalenka is able to really run around her forehand and she immediately begins a very aggressive sort of point. She likes to hit the ball hard, almost flat here across court, and then she runs around and uses her inside-out forehand here to attack Sloane Stephens' backhand. And she really hits a wide, well-placed, inside-out topspin forehand to pull Stephens off the court and then open up the court, right? So Stephens is right here at this point trying to get that ball. And then what you see is Sabalenka has really opened up the court for her to then hit a backhand winner down the line here. Again, what is really interesting here is the placement of the ball, right? So Sabalenka hits this inside-out forehand here to pull Stephens out, which is very right at the line. And then she hits the down-the-line backhand winner to win the point. And again, that one is pretty close to the line. Usually, you want some margin, right? A lot of the players allow some margin where the ball isn't that close to the line. However, Sabalenka is able to really have an excellent placement with her balls very close to the line, very aggressive to win the point. So what's interesting here is that both players are really staying aggressive and hitting the ball hard, which is really hard to do on red clay. Because red clay almost takes the edge off the ball and slows down the movement of the ball, the velocity of the ball considerably, which is why you see so many of the top players in the world who are winning, the US Open, Wimbledon, Australian Open. You see them struggling at Roland Garros because, again, it almost forces the players to expand their game and their skill set. But what is different here is that Sabalenka is still able to be aggressive while moving around the court incredibly well and really forcing Stephens to play aggressively, more aggressively, which is not working as well for her, right? Because you have somebody else like Sabalenka forcing you to play Sabalenka's game, which really works for her. What would be helpful in this type of scenario, whether in this match or other matches, and this really goes for all the surfaces, is to take the pace off the ball. So if I were Sloane Stephens right here, instead of hitting the ball hard and trying to match Sabalenka's pace, you really almost have to either hit a lob or a deep topspin forehand or backhand to get Sabalenka to change her game a little bit, because aggressive players, what they want is pace. And then when really forcing you and you're on the defense, you give them a really easy winner. So both of those situations are winners for them. But again, for Sloane Stephens, 7-6, 6-4, this is an incredibly tight match against the top player in the world. And if she is able to hit topspin or a lob, play more points like that just to get Sabalenka off her game, I think that would have been really helpful. The other thing that's working for Sabalenka in this match is her serve is really a weapon. You see Sloane, again, the red clay takes off the pace of the ball a lot, so it's really hard to hit an amazing serve, but Sabalenka's serve is working a little better and it's a weapon for her, whereas Sloane Stephens is really struggling a little bit, and Sabalenka is taking advantage of running around her forehand on the return and starting the point very aggressively. Again, the last point I want to make is not only is Sabalenka playing pretty aggressively on a surface where aggressive players don't do as well, but she has an amazing placement of the ball. The other player you see this doing on the men's side is Nadal, where he hits corners, forehand and backhand topspin, where the ball really pops to the side. And then the other player is having to be way out here to be able to hit the ball. So Sabalenka is doing that really well. She's placing the ball, like I said, very close to the line and staying aggressive and really forcing her opponents to play her game, which is aggressive game on clay.